All right, internet. So I was thinking about when I'm posting these things, video files, because I applied for Spotify, like Anchor.fm, it's awesome for podcasting, especially if you're super amateur like myself. And then, it's because Spotify bought them. It's easy to have it listed in all of the feeds for, RSS feeds and stuff like that for podcasts, like all of them, all the platforms. Anyway, what I also found that I actually love about this whole process is that I can just repurpose things, right? Like I can drag the video into Otter. I can also, hold on a second here. I'm going to give you, that was me. My phone was saying it was dying. I can put it in Otter. I can also put it on YouTube. I can do so many things with the video formats, right? But what I'm trying to get at is that there's so many things out there, and it's just, you just have to repurpose the content. Like you just record once and then you can cut it and put it in different places for different things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, disclaimer, try to keep it under 15 minutes, doing 30 days, building the perfect business, going all over the map. But a lot of magic is happening along the way because I'm really drilling down, and I decided that I'm just going to go with the flow, right? So this microphone, when I turn around and I use the whiteboard, doesn't really pick stuff up as well as it should. But for the most part, I really think the audio quality is great and the video is great. This is an iPhone 12 Pro. I'm using the front-facing camera. I can see myself talk. I can generally know the principles of where everything is, etc. Let's talk about day, 14? 30. Now, a lot of this is going to get mashed together, but remember, I talked about your toolbox, you got your model, etc. You understand how things kind of connect and work now and why you would use certain utilities and application platforms, why SaaS is important. We don't have to talk about cloud because you get it. Anyway, what we were last talking about was your personal and your business. This is what I'm going to drill down today about, okay? So I'm going to mention an application, platform, environment called front.com. Okay, here's why we're going to talk about this. You have the inside of your business and the outside of your business. The outside, if you just imagine your business as a circle and your team is on the inside, you're probably inside there as well. But what the circle represents is your team on the inside, your operations on the inside, all the mechanics and the humans on the inside, okay? Then on the outside of the circle, you have the outside world, which could be potential customers, potential clients, whatever, business-to-business relationships, another circle, right? Now, here's what I want to say about that. When you're building the perfect business, I do understand that the deliverables are kind of what pass through from circle to circle, right? So the deliverables, being either like a product or a service, whatever, okay? When I talk about these things, I understand that you could have a retail business. I understand you could have a restaurant. I could understand that you could be using Shopify connected to Instagram for purchases or TikTok or whatever. These are all parts of the machine, okay? But the reason why I'm brand heavy at the automated method, okay? Like I always make a joke that there's 25 SaaS platforms out there that control the world and nothing else. Well, there kind of is, all right? What we're doing, though, is we're building the perfect business for you. Do not forget that, okay? Do not forget for you. So that means that the perfect business, you make modifications so it's easier to own it instead of operate in it, okay? So all these things I talk about, like I'm going to talk about front, but you know how my brain works. I go over here, I go over there, okay? So why I'm saying this out loud is because when you think about what you're choosing for your SaaS platforms, let's pick the ones that play nice together. That's like the model. That's one of the things I pride myself on influencing, is because if they're classic UX front, they're going in the right direction, they're future-proofing their business, they're leaders in the industry, you don't need to build anything, you can stand on the shoulders of giants, okay? That's where you want to be. And the ones that play nice with each other, like the cloud-to-cloud SaaS world, those are the ones you want to work with. So if they have super awesome integrations with all the rest of everybody, that's who you're going to choose. Like Front, okay? Front.com. We'll get there. Just hold on for a second here. So as I discuss all this stuff and why I'm trying to get to some point is like when you think of the communication of all the pieces, I imagine them as cables or tentacles, okay, that connect between applications. And the information that it's called native integration. And the information they transmit between each other is information that you would share between the two of them, but one of them does something else that the other does not. So a good example is if there's contact information, like telephone, let's just say display name, first, last, and email, right? And maybe the business name, whatever. That information will be the same in the entirety of the ecosystem. All the apps will have the same information, so you never have to do it again. It's like once the entry point has happened and that information is inside your ecosystem, it's shared, native integration between all the platforms. That's an extremely simple one, all right? There are way more complex relationships with other SaaS platforms because there could be deep relationships between the SaaS platforms. Like say, for example, if you were using Xero for accounting for your modern finance, and then you had something else tap into that, but it isn't totally 100% finance related, but it does share some of the same attributes in finance between Xero and something else. All right, you get me. Now, another prerequisite of choosing some of these SaaS platforms, is when they have available connections to dashboard applications, okay? And also an API. All you need to know about API without me drilling down, because we only have 30 days, is that that's like a developer's back-end code that allows you to interact with the SaaS platform, or a programmer developer interact with the SaaS platform to push and pull data from like the back end, right? So say you want to build something customized, they give you a list of what you can do customized that you can't maybe do directly into the UX, the user interface, whether it's on the phone or the web, okay? That's important as well. Most awesome SaaS platforms have an API. Done. If they want to close something, there's something up, right? Because then they're not playing friendly. Okay? Now, why am I mentioning that? I started with Front. Anyway, whatever. If you got this far, you're still going to keep listening. I'm going to mention it later, but there's an application that you're going to use as a business owner, and it's called Databox or Databox, okay? And I'm just going to do a little aside here. If you want to go check it out now, we're going to work backwards from it eventually, but I need to open it up a little bit. A lot of the SaaS platforms, are already dashboardable inside Databox or Databox, okay? I say it both ways. I'm going to have to choose which way I say it. Databox, Databox, Databox. I think I'm going to go Databox. Anyway, Databox. Databox. See, I don't know what it is. It's one of those words. I think that there's a YouTube video I watched about that. That's why I'm doing that. Or a TikTok. Anyway, that platform, which is basically you build easy to use dashboards by dragging and dropping KPIs and metrics and things in analytics you want to see that are already in there because they partnered or built these things for those SaaS platforms. So it's like drag and drop. So that might be a reason to choose certain platforms because they're already in Databox. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Why? Well, at the end of all this, what you're going to have by day 30 is you're going to have a phone, iPhone. You're going to have a phone, and that will be one of the buttons that you press or the icons you press with your finger to open up and see what's going on. Because you need to know these kind of the metrics and the analytics and the KPIs of your business, but you don't really need to know that much. You just need to know that you can see certain things instead of generating reports all the time. And why I'm talking about that right now is that a lot of these applications I mention are there's things we can take from them, either API or natively integrated, that could be useful in a dashboard. Okay? I wanted to say that because if I'm now going back to the conversation about, say, if it's in regards to collaborative, cloud-based telephone numbers for SMS and call, open phone, right? If it's for email channels, it's front. Or channels of communication from the outside world to the inside world. What do I mean about that? Now we are opening Pandora's box. Okay? What we're going to talk about is email as a function, or just like DM or communication chat like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or whatever, from the outside world to the inside world. One application can be a collaborative team where you can connect the mailboxes and the DMs and everything into one platform for communication collaboratively, and you can assign your team to it. Now, power move. Fucking power move. Because sales at, accounts at, hello at, help at, support at, customer service at, I don't care, everything at, Jason at. Okay? It's now using an email. I mean, we could talk about HubSpot and Salesforce, and these pipelines can do similar things, and yes, they do. But this application is good for teaching the idea that email is a function and it's a channel. Not a silo, a channel, a collaborative channel where the team can see and treat all of the communication as like Slack would, right? Where everybody can see it, you can assign it, they can be different people discussing on the back end before communicating with the outside world. Do you see what I'm talking about? That's amazing. That's so amazing. So now that you know that your email is a function, or there's function emails and there's channels, you can start to see how you can build these relationships from like the outside world to the inside world. And this is the perfect business, okay? And so you can have your socials somehow connected to front for communication. You can have your emails connected to front, okay? And now you've elevated to this new understanding where your ecosystem, okay, is controlled by the team. It's a collaborative ecosystem. And then the outside world, they could do whatever they want. You have control of this perfect business here. And so now we can move to the emails as like a function, which I keep saying over and over again because I'm trying to drill it, I'm trying to change the world here, okay? But what I'm saying is that let's say you have or want to hire an integrator, a super controller, or an assistant, an executive assistant, or someone, or even a GM. That email that you need to absorb, or those emails that you need to absorb that are still communicating with the outside world, can be put into front. Maybe that might even be your name at the domain. And there are so many cool things we can do because now it's you triggers and filters and workflows inside the environment based on the only available thing is anything in front of the @ symbol on the other side. Power. Okay? Power. Especially considering if you want to get out. Like literally, there are so many business owners out there, and this is where I'll finish this one. Did I write down front? Whatever. Open phone for phones, front for email, and for communication through social platforms, etc. Go look at it. You'll see what I'm saying. Like seriously, just dive in. Obviously, the automated method here can do all of this in a rollout called the formula. Right? We do the scope, then we do the formula. I'm not just using these videos are supposed to be to practically teach okay, to influence these practical decisions for the perfect business. But obviously, email start@theautomatedmethod.com, for God's sakes, if you want some help. That's what we do over here. Supervised white glove modernization. Anyway, I was like, see, once I start going that direction, I lose my train of thought. The idea that I'm trying to get across is that the powers are now available. Okay, you can drag in all those emails. Most business owners make aliases. That's what I was going to say. Most business owners, as they've scaled, have created either aliases to other accounts, meaning that they go to the same mailbox anyway, or they have multiple mailboxes, but they're the person that checks and replies from each of them. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no automatic technologies involved there. No automation at all. So now we can separate those emails, right? And put them into channels and start to automate shit based on the email. Now we're getting somewhere, okay? Now I mentioned automation. Oh. Uh-oh. This is like where anybody's, finally listening and they're like, oh, the automated method finally is talking about automation. Now remember, there's a distinction I always like to make. Automatic technologies, which I think are like the if, this, then that of the Zapier AutoFlow world of natively integrated SaaS platforms, cloud to cloud. A lot of that is already automatic technologies. Automation sounds very industrial, right? So now that we're here, wherever the end of day 14 has brought us, we can start to work some magic.